Hi, good morning. Hey, I'm at the gym right now and it's really smoky outside and I don't want anyone to use that as an excuse not to work out. So I'm gonna encourage you to just do a little something every single day. It's only gonna take you about 5 minutes. Make your health a priority, make yourself a priority, and don't let things get in the way, don't let the smoke get in the way. So what I'm gonna do with you guys is just a little daily morning burn, something really simple. We're gonna start with some sit-ups. You guys can do it with me or watch later and do it on your own. But I want you guys to try and do as many as you can in 1 minute, okay? If you can't do a sit-up, you can do a crunch. But you're just going to lay back on your mat, put your hands behind your head, make sure your chin is pointing straight up to the ceiling, and you can come up and down with your elbows wide, feet on the floor, lifting your shoulders up off the ground. Just lift and lower. Okay, for you that are more advanced, you can come all the way up, bring your elbows to your knees, roll all the way back down, come up, back down. You can even put your hands across your chest, dig those heels into the floor, and use your abs to lift. And if you're a little bit more advanced and want more of a challenge, you can grab a dumbbell, add a dumbbell, place that dumbbell on your chest, lift and lower. You can also take that dumbbell and you can press it all the way up, like you're doing a chest press it up, bring it back down, come up, back down. We're almost at a minute. One more. Good. Take a little break. Make sure you keep hydrated. So I always keep my water handy. Okay, so we just did some sit-ups. Let's try some push-ups. Now push-ups, when you're doing a push-up, main thing to remember is keep your fingers fanned because it puts less stress on the wrists. Make sure your wrists are always in line with your shoulders. You keep your belly button tucked into your spine, and you want to make sure that you keep your butt out of the air and hips off the ground. Now most of us girls like to do our knee push-ups, right? But when we do, I see a lot of this going on. Okay, we want to make sure that we keep our butt down. So we want to tuck it in, okay? Tuck that booty in, and you're going to come down, come back up. When you're doing a push-up, try not to tuck your chin under and go like this. You want to keep your neck in line with your spine and just look straight out in front of you, okay? So I'm going to set the timer. We're going to go for a minute. If you get tired on these, push-ups, you know, go slow first of all. You want to go nice and slow. You want to try and get your full range of motion all the way down, all the way up. When you start to get tired, you can take it down to the knees. Just make sure the butt's out of the air. Come down onto the mat, push yourself back up. Another thing you can do is grab a chair, do them on a chair, do them on the wall. Another good way to start is to start down and then push up into the plank, and then you lower yourself back down, push yourself back up. I call that a reverse push-up, but just try and do as many as you can. If you only can do a couple, that's fine. You got to start somewhere, right? But this is going to strengthen your core, your shoulders, your chest, of course. Okay? Good job. All right, so we got sit-ups, push-ups. Another really good exercise that you can do without any equipment is a plank or a side plank. So if you're a beginner, you're on your elbow with it under your shoulder. You're going to bend your bottom leg and just lift your top leg off the floor. You want to make sure you have a nice straight line from your elbow all the way down to your knees and toes. And you want to lift your fingertips up to the ceiling, open up the chest, reach all the way up. And if you're more advanced, you can take it, anchor your feet together, take it up onto your toes, and you're holding it here. If you need a little bit of a challenge, you can dip it elbow to the ground, twist, dip, twist, or you can feed it under. Just make sure you're twisting all the way. So we're gonna do 30 seconds on each side. Switch. If you can't do 30 seconds, that's okay. Start with 15, start with 10, and just work your way up, okay? So here we go. On to level 1, elbow under the shoulder, in line with your bent leg, on the floor, top leg is straight, holding it here. And you can also do the side crunches, the plank side crunch if you want on your knee. If you need a challenge, you're up on those toes, anchoring those feet together. Remember, chest is lifted, fingertips up to the ceiling. Try and keep your hips up the whole time. Don't let them sink down. And you got 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, release. Nice job. This one's really good for your lower back, good for the core. So we're gonna get into a tabletop position. Once again, fanning those fingers. Make sure your wrists are under your shoulders, knees under your hips, okay? And you're gonna lift one leg at a time. Heels go straight up and just squeezing those glutes. You can do this one for a minute. I'm trying to look up at the clock up there. So making sure my back is in a neutral position. I don't want to round my back. And I lift as high as I can, heel all the way up, placing those knees back down under my hips. Make sure I'm keeping my ribs under my shoulders the whole time. I see a lot of people with their arms out here, way out in front of them. That puts a lot of stress on your joints. So we want to line them all up and be nice and square. How are we doing? 45 seconds. Oh, and if you want to make this more challenging, you can put a dumbbell behind your knee and lift, or get some ankle weights. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. All right, so we did sit-ups, push-ups, side planks. Those are called, I call them, I don't know, donkey kicks. I don't know what they're called. The other thing, hip raises. So you can place your palms on the ground, or you can make a triangle right under your tailbone and bring your knees in, and then just lift up as high as you can. Ease in, lift up, ease in, lift up. Trying to get those hips up high. Now, what I want you to do is press your back all the way down into your mat. Relax your head and neck, and just lift the lower body. Good. This is a great one for the hips. Feel that in your abs too as you lift all the way up to the ceiling. If you need to, you can just keep your legs bent. If you need to modify, keep your legs bent. Then just lift and lower here. Okay, but if you want more of a challenge, you lift up all the way. If that's not enough, go get those ankle weights. And exhale on the lift for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. All right, for our legs. Mama loves her legs. I love working out my legs. That's why I teach a leg class Tuesday mornings at the club at 5:30. No, it's not too early. Mornings are the best time to work out. You get it done, then after school, when you pick up the kids or you get home from work, you don't have to hit the gym. You already did it. All right, so simple. We're just gonna start with some lunges, hands on our hips. We're gonna square up our shoulders, hips, knees, and toes. And we're gonna take our right foot forward. Make sure that back foot doesn't tweak out. I see a lot of people tweaking out their back foot. Square it all up, Chest is up. I call it proud chest. You go straight down. You push back and you switch. Push back and switch. These are called alternating lunges. Okay, remember your cues are everything square. Chest is up. Shoulders down and relaxed. Pushing off with your heels. And you want to do a nice big step. The bigger the better. If you want more, you can obviously grab dumbbells if you have them. Try and dip your knee down as low as you can, because the lower you go, the harder it is to get back up, right? And another important cue is when you're lunging, make sure your knee stays stacked right on top of your ankle. You don't want your knees to go past your toes, because that puts a lot of stress on the knees. Keep it going. Turn on your favorite tunes, get motivated, or find a buddy. Buddies are good when we need accountability and motivation. Last one. You did it. That's for your legs. Another good one for the legs is just a regular squat. So feet shoulder width apart. Chest up, arms out, hips back, down, and up. Now I squat and I stop at a 90-degree angle right here, and then I push up through my heels. You don't need to go lower than that. Just focusing on pushing your hips as far back as you can, because just like the lunges, you don't want your knees going over your toes. And I see a lot of people squatting in their toes and not in their heels. We don't want to do that, because that puts stress on the knees. So when you're doing this, I want you to focus. Think heels digging into the floor. Nice. And then another thing is try not to look at the floor, because when people look straight down, they tend to round their back. So whenever I'm doing a squat, I always look straight out in front of me. If I don't have dumbbells, I'm extending my arms. If you do have weights, they can be at your side, they can be on your chest, or even on your shoulders. Lots of different positions. And then at the end, you can even add